Hi everyone. In today's world, customers are not restricted to a single cloud service provider. Often use cloud services from different public cloud service providers. So I'm going to set up a video series where I'm going to talk all the basic levels of um, cloud services. In this video, I will go through um, infrastructure, top level infrastructure for the top four public cloud service providers, which are AWS, Azure, GCP, and OCI. So first, I'm going through with AWS. If you look here, their infrastructure page. So you will see here that green dot and red dot there. So green dot is mainly they are pointing where regions are available or live, and red which are coming soon. So if you look here, you will see that they are talking about 31 regions, 99 availability zones, and I'll go edge location data. So here you can see, as an example, Sydney is a region. Then if I go to USA, there Ohio is a region, North Virginia is a region, and US West is a region. So a region is a physical location, around the world where we know it's a I think logical thing that it's a cluster data center. Because I'm saying cluster data centers, okay, let me first go through how you can find the region. So if you see that here you can see the region, you can select a region which is suitable for you. And provision services that you want. Now we talk about uh, let's say talk about the availability zones. So Y has got three. Then if we look here, North Virginia, it has got eight. So there can be different numbers of availability zone for each region. So region is designed to isolated from the other regions. So that's mainly for to achieve fault tolerance and stability. And when we are talking about availability, okay, let me talk about availability zones. So availability zones is one or more, it's kind of data center. Like in YO, you got a number of data center. In Sydney, you got like three data centers. So it's coming as a availability zone. So availability zone is mainly, they are separated than other data centers. So if something happened to one data center, and if you have option, you can get that in another data center can be available. So how we can check the which availability zone we are? So for that, here I am on EC2 dashboard page, and if you go to like service, if we come down here, this service health section will give you to find the availability zones. There are different zone options there, so you can get that information from this page. Now we'll talk about the local zone. You see here, you can see that 12 local zone, and wavelength zone is 8. So what is local zone? Local zone is an extension of that in on AWS Azure region. It's mainly to get locally, to connection, make things faster. um, so that it also support the AWS Direct Connect, and created in a local zone, can serve for local users with mainly for low latency communication. So how we can find that one? So if you go here, from from your console, um, and if you go to the top level account attributes section, down below you will see that there is a zones option. If you click that zone, from here you can get the list of local zone uh, based on your availability zone. And you see normally they are disabled. So uh, if you want, then you can enable that one. To enable that, you can click on manage and enable. But I am not going to do this one for now because it's just knowledge purpose. Now let me talk about, there is another concept on infrastructure. If you see here that they mention wavelength zone. So what is wavelength zone? Wavelength enables developers to build mobile application, mainly like mobile devices and for end users, to give that like ultra low latencies. So it's another service, mainly for 5G edge locations, and it provides a high bandwidth and secure connection to the, if I say the parent level AWS region. So how you can find the wavelength zone? The same, if you go to like console and then click on zones and under account activity section, if you go down section under local zone, this is local zone section, and if you go down, and you can see here that wavelength zones. So other concept is infrastructure layer, that POP or edge location. So if you look here, you will see that they are talking about 450 plus point of presence, where 400 plus edge locations. So what is point of presence? It's mainly to deliver content to end users with lower latency. So it use that to make things faster. So that the options here. So you can think of to boost something like people like Krispy Kreme, but they cannot go to the shopping center. Now, what is happening? You Krispy Kreme is you can get that from local, like Woolworths shop or local 7-Eleven. So it's kind of edge location where customer is getting that benefit. So cloud provider put some kind of feature so that customer can get lower latency, and that's the main reason here, like for point of presence or edge location. So let me talk about countries, how many countries they are available. So if you go down, you can see that 245 countries and territories served. Okay, now let me go through the similar concept for the Azure cloud. So here we are connecting Azure Cloud. I will put all the links down below in description section. So here Azure Global Infrastructure page, and Azure has got the similar concept for region. So here you can see that kind of like US West US 2. It's a region concept. And North Central US is another region. So regions is, as I mentioned before, it's a set of data centers deployed within a latency defined, perimeter. And this connected, through a dedicated regional low latency network. Now, Azure has got another concept. Okay, let me go here. And like similar, like we are using availability zone for AWS. Also, Azure use the same term, that availability zone. So availability zones are unique physical location within a Azure region. It's mainly to provide high availability to protect application or data if any data center fails. And when I'm talking about this one, like each availability zone, if you consider the data center, ultimately you know that they are equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking, so they are totally separated. Now there's a concept of availability set. So it's a logical grouping of VMs that allows Azure to understand how your application is built. So it has got it has combined with update domain and fault domain. So if you look here, like fault domain 0, fault domain 1, fault domain 2, inside there you can see UD. So VM is VMware. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can see different update domain. So update domain indicates a group of virtual machines, or if I say like underlying physical hardware that can be booted or rebooted at the same time. On the other hand, like fault domain, if you see a fault domain, the primary case is fault domain is, think when for any region that one rack, or as an example, fault domain 0 went down due to something happened, and then it will move the workload to some other rack like fault domain 1 or fault domain 2 if you have that setup in place. So remember, mainly update domain is that when you're working for any region, you can do that plan maintenance. You can do one domain down, you can work on other domain. And fault domain is mainly to, if something happened to one rack, then your workload will be moved to different domain. Now other options here that we can say, like it has got okay, let me first tell you how we can find that one. So if you provision a service, so here is the option that you can select region, which region you want to deploy your service. Example, I selected South Central US, and there's the availability option. So here if we select, availability options. There are a few options here. So see, if we select availability zone, then you will see that availability zone options there, from where you can select which zone you want to put your resources. The other option is I can go with availability set. So if I click availability set, then you will see it is asking is there any availability set there, because I don't have any availability set here yet. So it's a combination of fault domain and update domain. So from here we can create a new availability set. You can just give a name, and here you see that for each availability set we can go up to 3 fault domain and up to 20 update domains. Other option we got here like edge zone. Edge zone is kind of, you can think of edge location. So that's mainly, there's a densely populated area, and for provide the lower latency or to get the that throughput into support for the application. So Azure put edge zone those areas. Other than that, there is also concept of Azure regional. That we mentioned before that Azure has got paired regions. So what is that? It's actually a concept of region pairing. So region pairing is the relationship between two Azure regions. So here you see that region pairing is mainly for Azure Site Recovery, and if you click that one, it will go to the document, and from this document you can find out the uh, which region pair, which regions are paired. So for different geography wise, you can find that one. It can be happen within countries. There can also be like in between countries. So here East US, West US, like it's the China North, China East, Canada Central, Canada East. Now here is Singapore and Hong Kong, so two different countries. So now go through with the Google Cloud or GCP platform. So from the infrastructure page, you see that Google Cloud has got at this stage 37 regions, 112 zones, and 176 network edge location, and over 200 countries uh, and territories available these resources. So here Google has got the same concept of a region. So regions are collection of zones, and when we are talking about regions are independent geographic areas that consist of zones. Zone is a isolated location, if I say, and zone is deployed area for the all the resources. This is mainly as Google mentioned that each region has at least 3 or more zones. The advantage of zone is increasing availability and fault tolerance within the same region, and each zone has one or more that clusters, if I said that one. Now the concept of edge location. So edge location or point of interest, that we are saying before also that so point of presence. So it's mainly where GCP connects a Google network to the rest of the internet via peering. So that is points of presence. And if you go here network, then you see that this is mentioned here, that is point of presence. And it has also concept of edge nodes. So edge nodes represent the tier of Google's infrastructure close to user for low latency. So now it's coming. Let's go to how you can provision a resource within a region. For that, connect to the Google Cloud. From there, let's try to just provision some services here. So let me go through VM provisioning. So if I click here, create instance, and you see that when you're giving a name, labels, and then there's the option that you can select region, and based on the region you will see the option for zones. So that can be from here, like for US Central 1 there are 4 zones available. And when you see that that when you provision for any cloud service provider, that cost can be defined based on the region you selecting. Let me select, if I select Frankfurt, it is much more there. So we have done with GCP. Now let's go to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure to go through with so from Oracle Cloud regions you can get geographical information here, like in blue dot is current regions, and half blue half white one is region that coming soon. And it also mentioned about interconnect, and here you can see that Oracle Cloud Service offers 41 public cloud regions in 22 countries. So now let's connect to the console, OCI console. Now when Oracle set up tenancy for a customer that is known as home region, where you can like by default, if you provision some resources, it will be provision your home region, but manage region option is there, where from to use other region you need to subscribe that region. So it's a free account and that option is not enabled here, but if you have paid account you have options to subscribe from here. You can also do that by going through governance and administration, and there is a region management, you can also select from there. So now Oracle has got concept of availability domain and fault domain. So let's go through concept to get some idea on that. So if you click here, like I'm trying to provision some databases there. So Oracle base system, create a DB system. You can do, I'm just showing you, so I'm not changing that much. Here you can see that it's a availability domain under a region. So here can be multiple availability domain based on the region you selected here. So and under this availability domain, if I go down, you will see that if you expand the advanced option, you can see that there is an option with the fault domain. So fault domain is a grouping of hardware and infrastructure within a availability domain. So from here you can select the availability domain you want. So it's mainly if something happened that your instance into one domain, so it will not impact to other domain. So what does that mean? That if anything happen, like hardware failure, due to some unseen issues, so it will affect only that domain. It will not impact other domain. Now Oracle has got other concept like realm. So let me go through the document for that one. I will put the document link. This is mainly they are talking about on the availability domain and region. So here, if you look here, then you will see that OCI realms, its regions are grouped. So like home region and another region you can put into group under your tenancy. So it's a logical collection of regions. Now, if you down below that it can be that needs to commercial organization and also for the governmental organization. So commercial organization is like commercial regions belong to the same realm, and government or governmental organization, you see that US governmental like FedRAMP authorized or US government IL5 authorized, also UK government options there. So there is no concept of edge location that I know. So I hope that you got a basic understanding on cloud infrastructure for the top 4 vendors, like Amazon, which is AWS, and then Azure, which is Microsoft owned, then GCP, which is Google owned, and then OCI, which is Oracle owned. If you like this one, please subscribe and share. More videos are coming soon. Thank you. Thanks for watching.